into the combo line pieces of like archetype, not archetype, but like the different like hero type stuff like that. But that is actually kind of the wrong thing to do, really. So the way I'm gonna do this is we're gonna start with the 1-card combo of a hero lives and go to the combo lines you can go into and scenarios and choices and what each one of those choices go into. The reason I'm doing this live is because it would take so long to do it in a video and then edits and stuff like that. Like it would be such a long video. Doing it live, people can tune in, stuff like that, and you can see without any editing how raw it is when you're thinking about your combo line and what choices you're gonna make. So I just wanted to do a live video of that. So we're gonna go into it. I'm gonna set up with the hero lives, right? Now, as we all know, lives, but I'm gonna go through the most ideal way of how a hero lives. It depends on your hand. Just gets played, right? Bait, because if our opponent's gonna, we have to throw this out first, just due to its effect, for us to not have any monsters, you know, and pay half our life points to get a monster from our deck, or a hero monster, or elemental hero monster from our deck, and special summon it. Now, with us doing so, it's a costly effect, but we have to do it first if we have it to set up our combo depending on our hand. So we normally go hero lives right from the get, right? That's going to push us into what we mainly go for is the Stratos. The Stratos to search, add to our hand, stuff like that, right? And if you don't go to Stratos, the other option is going for Shadow Mist. And if you go Shadow Mist with this, you then get Mass Change. And when you get Mass Change this way, you'll end up pretty much, because if you both effects, you're going to activate the Mass Change on your opponent's turn. So that way you can get into Darklaw on your opponent's turn, and the Surge off also, because you can only use one of those effects once per turn. And that's the only downside of that, and that's why I don't like going for Shadow Mist to get Mass Change. But, you know, that will end up there. And then, like I said, on your opponent's turn, then you'll Mass Change the Shadow Mist into Darklaw. Shadow Mist effect to search your deck for a hero. And depending on where you're at, you know, if you were playing Honest Neos to defend this play, then you would do that. But it's not the most optimal play. So that's what you can do with that, but I don't like doing it that way. I feel like it's a very sloppy, rushed way to play a hero lives, so that's why I always go hero lives to Stratos, Stratos to search Ferris if we didn't already have Ferris, and whatever combo piece we were missing for the Ferris is what you would search. So like, if you didn't have Ferris, you would obviously search Ferris. And by doing so, you then do Ferris, so then you would have your hero lives in grave, this face up on the field, this plus whatever hero in your hand. And the most viable discard for this, I always think, is Shadow Mist. But if you're not going Shadow Mist, then it's Mally. And if you already have both these in the graveyard and stuff like that, another option that we end up having now, because we play the Evil Hero package, is Necrom. But understand, if you go Necrom, then you kind of lose out a little bit on the evil hero side. But it just depends on where you're at. So those right here are the most... when you discard these, you get the most value off. You get extension, you get a search to go for like a dusted gold or something. So then I'll put here for discarding on what they'll be. So then, you'll discard either one of these three, depending on what you do. You will special summon the Shadow, or the Ferris. And when you do this, depending on going first or second, if you're scared of the lightning storm. So if you're going first, always special in defense, because you could get stopped and you just don't want to get lightning storm. That's just like the rule of thumb of going first with heroes. So you would always put stuff in defense position going first when you're being heroes, because you just don't want to get lightning stormed. You don't want to get stopped and then lightning stormed, and then it happens. It's just something that I've been doing, and I feel more comfortable that way. So that's completely up to you as a player. But so then, you would use the effect. You would then get increase to your spell and trap card zone. Then increase effect, you would pretty much put Ferris to the grave. And then special him in defense. And then his effect, special from deck to the field, Vion. And like before, the most optimal choices to go to grave for extension and combo reasons is going to be your Mali, your Necrom, or your Shadow Mist. Those are going to give you the most value in extension. So that's what I normally do. If you are missing and you want to go into your absolute zero play, by all means, you can then just send the Liquid Soldier, is what you can do, and go with, the Miracle Fusion play and go off like that. So you can send him also, and you can go with Miracle Fusion, whatnot, and set up for the absolute zero play. But these are your most for search and extension. So yeah, that's the way I feel. Get your polymerization. Sorry about that, had a call coming in. I tell you, it's always when you're doing videos, people want to get a hold of you. Get polymerization off your Vion. And what you'd want to banish is pretty much the Ferris. Because if we banish that, it's actually more protected because of Dark Contact. So banishing that doesn't hurt us. Then, we'll fusion, and how you set up your hand is important. I like using Stratos and Neos to go into Infernal Rage. Going into Infernal Rage with the Neos and use as fusion material makes it to where you can, you get the search off the summon for favorite contact. So we'll put that there. And then, we search the favorite contact. And then because you have the fusion material being Neos, you get to just tribute him off to someone from your extra deck with ignoring the summoning conditions. You can go right into one of my favorites right here. Find him real quick. Boom, where is he at right now? Right there. Into Shining, into Sunrise, and then Sunrise, on summon, you're going to search Miracle Fusion There you go. And depending on how you set up the graveyard, you know, you can go into Absolute Zero. You can go into the Shining Neos Wingman. You can go into the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. But if you're going first, you know, the only way you're going to do this is, you know, you're going to pop, get mass change, stuff like that. But once again, that's kind of a real forced play. You got to be in a pretty bad situation. If you know your matchup, then that's what you'll do. But, yeah, so you go into getting Miracle Fusion. So then you have Miracle Fusion and Favorite Contact. Then, on top of that, depending on everything, you know, you can link off. You go into your Cross Crusade. This is all just off of Hero Lives, so keep that in mind. I know it's pretty long so far, 11 minutes into a Hero Lives, but it is what it is. This is also us trying to bait out the Nibiru. We're trying to make them feel like this is what we have for push, stuff like that. So we're just baiting out Nibiru, and then, you know, he brings back a Destiny hero. You'll bring back this. There's so many things that you can do, and it's absolutely insane. So yeah, so then, you know, you pop, you search. And the ones to search for, you know, you can either search for Denier because you're going to get back your polymerization with Wonder Driver, or you can search a Dusted Gold. So that way you have another search through Evil Assault. So then, off popping your Mali with this, you can search the Denier or the a Dusted Gold, depending on which way you want to go and what your beginning hand was to begin with. So you can bring this in hand because you know you're gonna end up bringing back Mali to link climb into Wonder Driver, and then you can banish the Mali again to put under the Wonder Driver to get your polymerization back, so you can go into DPE. But I'm showing you that this can lead into, so if you add this to hand, you can discard this, getting your Evil Assault. So you get your Evil Assault through Dusted Gold, and then Evil Assault, you can discard any card from your hand and special summon or add to hand an evil hero. So if you discard from hand, you know, you could have anything in hand, the one discard, and then what you'll special summon off the Evil Assault is the Dead End Prison. Dead End Prison will send Necrom. And Necrom extends. So you can send the Necrom off the Dead End Prison by revealing your extra deck. And then Necrom will banish itself to special Rider. So then you can special Rider. Rider, when special summoned, will get you Dark Fusion. Yep. So already we already searched 4 fusions: Polymerization, Favorite Contact, Miracle Fusion, and the Dark Fusion. So then we have this playing as Neos. This we can link climb into. So you can just link him off. You can go into Wonder Driver. Wonder Driver is my favorite. you can banish the Mally from grave. And then, after you banish the Mally from grave, we're going to bring back Mally into that spot there, which then will allow us to get our polymerization back from our graveyard to our hand. And I said, with how you set up your hand, or what you already had in your hand, you could then go into DPE with anything from your hand, or, you know, field even, stuff like that. So if you end up searching Denier, then you can go into DPE with Denier and Mally at that point. So, yeah, and then you can go into the link 3 to Driver, but I like keeping Wonder Driver out, because Wonder Driver is our resource recycler for our fusions. Our fusion spell cards, and even favorite contact, but more than anything, being able to recycle the super polymerization with Wonder Driver is so good. So if you bring in the DPE through this and another hero that you had in your hand, that's a Destiny hero, you know, because how you set up your hand. Now, DPE will pop itself and then come back and hit here. So therefore, you'll be able to continuously get your fusion spell cards, you know, back into your spell and trap card zone. That's, you know, even super poly, stuff like that from grave. So very important, especially like long end game. You know, you got a grindy game, very important. These two right here, very important getting your resources. And then with Dark Supremacy, you can then just shuffle them back from your banish or your graveyard back into the deck. It doesn't hurt a whole lot. You constantly have stuff to go into, so you can take all your fusions, links, and put them back in with Dark Supremacy. So just you're fueling your resource management, and that's what I like about this combo here with Dark Supremacy. Also, like, it just refuels your extra deck for you to keep abusing super poly or any of your like fusion spell cards. So then, you know, you would banish Rider and 4 other hero monsters in your graveyard to give you that super poly. And then, you know, you do the thing, not to do the thing, you do super poly, you know, do your discard, and you go into this bad boy right here, you know, and bada bing, bada boom, this is one of your opponent's monsters, and you go right into that just absolutely, Neos Lord is just chaotic to play around. Makes your opponent have to do their combos in a different order. So it's just, that's just off a hero lives. That's literally just off a hero lives. So yeah, we'll sweep that up. Now we'll go into Evil Assault. Well, actually, we're not going to go into Evil Assault. I'm going to show you a different one that is pretty fun, you know, if you're scared of the Nibiru, which you really shouldn't be being heroes. It's like, yeah, we get Nibiru, we just know what's going to happen. So we pretty much just like play into it and then play through it. So, but Instant Contact is a nice going first for your hero builds. What you can do with this is you can send Neos to the graveyard with anything. You know, you got Foolish Burial, you'll have Ferris. This Ferris can send it from your Neos, could be in your hand. You could send it to the graveyard with Ferris. Then if you had the Ferris combo and you went through it, and then you can have Vion send Neos to graveyard. We can get Neos to graveyard in very many different ways. So playing this isn't like situational. We can do it, and then we can use this and go into Marine Dolphin. And then we just discard a card, look at our opponent's hand to get hand knowledge. they have the nib, cool, we know we have the nib. We can bait them into using it earlier, making them think that our turn is done because we may have a subpar hand. So, and then also this width, if you have this with a Hero Lives, just the extension is insane. Yeah, think about it though, it's like 5,000 life points gone in your first turn. So be careful. But yeah, this is just a really nice combo I like for going first heroes because just having the hand knowledge, that's pretty much what I like to do with this. That's it for that one. Now I'll do the Evil Assault. The Evil Assault combo line, if you're just going to go with that and that's what you had, is, you play it. It's a discard 1 special summon, a level 4 lower hero, or evil hero. So you play it. You're going to go Dead End Prison. Dead End Prison effect. You can do a reveal. Bada bing, bada boom. And then you're going to send Necrom. Necrom's going to banish itself. And you're going to get Rider. Rider's going to get you Dark Fusion. And we get Dark Fusion. Now, you're thinking, okay, so how do we link up or anything like that if that's what we're going to do, right? So pretty much you got to go through like the back doorway to get to Cross Crusader. So what you're going to open that door with is Devicer. Devicer opens that up very well. So then you can, if this is the route you could go, just to get your hand set up, is you can, if this is all you had, is link those. Like I said, I'm going through not having a hand or anything. I'm just showing what the one card does for combo line. So then you can reveal. We add Neos. There we go. So by the end of using Evil Assault, you end up being like Ferris combo by bringing this, and it gets you 2 monsters for you to be able to link. So you, just like you would Ferris, you end up with Dark Fusion instead of Polymerization. You go into the link, you reveal, you get Neos. Like I said, this can change through any which route of what your hand is. I'm just showing what Evil Assault gets you into just by itself. So then you have this choice, and whatever you have in your hand, you can Dark Fusion into to go into Bane or into Neos Lord. So that is just from Evil Assault. And if you're trying to get into Cross Crusader, just know that you'd have to link this into Wonder Driver, which is why I play 2 Wonder Driver. So you go into Wonder Driver, and then you go into Warrior, and then you'll have another Warrior, allowing you to get into Cross Crusader. So that's how you would get back into Cross Crusader to then continue those combos. And then later throughout the combo line, you would get back into Wonder Driver. Just the way that I set up, because I like to have Wonder Driver so I can get back my resources. It helps me recycle those very well. So we did A Hero Lives, we did Evil Assault, and we did Instant Contact. Those 3 are very potent. You wouldn't think so with Instant Contact, but Instant Contact, being able to go for Marine Dolphin, get the hand knowledge, is very potent. Allows you to go through your hand and your combos knowing what your opponent has, so you can navigate. Now, the last one for the 1-card starter is Fusion Destiny. Fusion Destiny does insane amount. Now, let's say the options that you can go through with a Fusion Destiny, right? What are your options to get rid of out of your deck, right? Or your hand? I'm going to get them all out. And the reason I don't like Fusion Destiny, honestly, if I have to start with this card, remember, we are locked into Dark Heroes. All right, so it's not great to start out with. Don't get me wrong. Having a 1-card DPE Plasma is pretty cool. It's really good. But that we're just locked in that board and we only have pretty much, you know, a Stratos or something and DPE and Plasma. Sometimes that can be enough depending on what we have in our back row and what we have for like hand traps in our hand. But this is honestly kind of my least favorite. So we're going to end up, you know, leads us into this. And this is the most ideal way to use a Fusion Destiny, because a Fusion Destiny getting you in DPE and a Plasma is because you're going to send Mally, you're going to send Denier, and by doing so, you use Mally's effect, banish self, bring it back, then you can do it again because Denier's going to bring himself back. So then you can then, if you really want to go into 2 DPE, but there's no point for that, because then it's just linking up through what you have in your hand also, just a lot of other things. It's pretty insane. It really is, but being locked is just something I'm not super happy about. So then, yeah, you know, you'll go into Cross Crusader with everything else that you had with the Fusion Destiny. When you go into Cross Crusader, most likely, if you started this way, and this is what you had to start with your hand, you'd Cross Crusader, pop the Mally when you brought it back with Cross Crusader, search Plasma, so that way you could end with the Plasma DPE for best case scenario for your board, and then whatever you had for hand traps or your back row. Like I said, doing this is basically 4 Mally when it comes to this. I mean, darn near 5 to be honest, depending on how you set it up. So it's pretty insane. So yeah, that's the other thing with this. It leads you into Cross Crusader, DPE, Plasma, but you're gonna end up using the Cross Crusader with these two to have Plasma with Plasma DPE. And don't get me wrong, it's strong board, but when your opponent has all its effects and everything that it does, like your opponent does, is just insane. So that's majority of the time what you'll lead into with just playing just the Fusion Destiny. Now I did 4 of the 1-card combos, and the only other thing I can do now is show you by shuffling the deck and playing out a hand of 5 to 6 cards. I'm gonna start with going first and we'll go from there. So just give me a few seconds here. Kind of sorting out everything that's extra deck and deck. Now the build I have right now is a blind going second build that I have right now that I'm going to be doing these 5 for the random. If you want me to do the going first or second build for the combo line of a 5 or 6, I will do so. And I can also show that, so that way there's no confusion. Also, it is a 45 card deck. I do want to point out that for a blind second build, a blind second hero build, right? I'm not a fan of Nibiru, of like main decking it, because Nibiru gets in the way of our hero lives. So that's the main reason why I don't like playing Nibiru main deck. The card that I would play in my main deck for blind second heroes is in Divine Incarnate. Now, Divine Incarnate, if you're blind second heroes, is just better. Now we're gonna go through their negates and we're gonna have to play through and this and that. But Divine Incarnate is just gonna wipe your opponent's board for the effects that they used. I prefer blind second heroes with Divine Incarnate in the main. In my builds, the only reason if you were to do the Nibiru is, playing the one cross out. But since cross out's at 1, I don't feel that it's as important. Now, side the Nibiru, main the Divine Incarnate, still have the one cross out because you're still going to need it for the Droll and Lockbird type stuff, because that really hurts us. So that's how I feel about that. And I only do 2 in the main and 2 nib in the side. So it's what you can fit in a 45 card build. And I just like the 45 card hero build much better than going over 45 because ratios. So yeah, that's kind of the way I just feel about that. So I'm gonna shuffle up. It's a little profiled out, so it's who knows what these are gonna be for our random 5, right? Now remember, this is the blind second build right here. I can possibly tomorrow do the going first or second and do some blind hands like that so you guys can see those combo lines. So there we go. So we got Ferris, Vion, Neos, Mali, and Fusion Destiny. And then for our 6 card, because we are blind second, is Vion. That hurts. That hurts. If we had 5 and we had everything, we're good going first. But going second, that hurts. Now we can throw out this to bait out if we want. Just to get something started here. Between this is actually kind of hard to see with how this is. So based on this 5, this is potentially what can happen. Like I said, this is a 45 card main. It's potentially gonna end up being like this. You don't want to have 2 of these in, but you do. So how are we gonna navigate through this, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bait out because I want this to go through because it's kind of like our only play. Is that we're going second, we're probably gonna get stopped like real quick. It's gonna be pretty hard to play through. So what I like to do is I'll throw this out to ditch this here, and hopefully something happens here. Hopefully they negate it. If they don't, then we just sit there with the with the increase in our spell and trap card zone, which isn't bad, honestly. It's not bad to have that sit there, because if you get to absolute 0, then you can increase the absolute 0 off during their turn. So if they don't do nothing with that, it's not game over. It's not bad. The hand seems bad, but it's not, because essentially we have an Alistair in our hand. So we're just going to summon the Vion and go for Poly if something happened or if it didn't. So a lot of people, if they do understand heroes, they're going to do something about the increase effect more than anything. But say it didn't, right? And we normal then, or you could go to the normal, absolutely normal, and then send a hero. Hopefully nothing happens, but we are going second. It's almost like it's gonna happen, but where it goes anyways, right? With the hand that was subpar. Going to send any hero, right? Who do we want to send? We're going second because we're blind second heroes right now. We can send the Shadow Mist to add to hand. Probably Dusted Gold because I'd set up our Bane play. Or, you know, send Liquid Soldier so that way we can do the other thing. But Bane is a problem. So we're going to send the Shadow Mist so that we can search a Dusted Gold. A Dusted Gold. Add to hand. And also, if they had a target negate, you could, you know, use him on that as well. So that way you could still get the search polymerization off. So you're not completely out of luck. Discard, search. Now we can get Dark Fusion, or we can get Dark Contact. Depending on how you feel with where you want to go. If, for any reason, if you wanted to search, instead of Dark Contact, and you wanted to search the Evil Assault, because then you could do another discard. There's Evil Assault. So then we can either discard our boy here or here. Notice how we haven't done, you know, the banish to get the polymerization yet. We're kind of saving that depending on what's going to happen here, right? And I haven't done this yet because I don't want to get locked into darks. So we can Evil Assault. We can discard the Mally. So our opponent here is going to think we don't have Fusion Destiny because we're trying to bait everything out. You can summon Dead End Prison off that. Dead End Prison, you're going to reveal an Evil Hero Fusion or a Fusion in general, and you're going to end up just sending a hero from your deck to the grave, and you're going to send Necrom, send Necrom, bam, sending Necrom, banish Necrom, bringing out Rider, and then Rider's gonna get you Dark Fusion. A Dark Fusion. So yeah. And then you can link away, stuff like that. So like with that 5 there, you have a lot to play, but they said if you're going second and you had a lot to play through, that can be rough. But remember, we still have this. You can banish to still get your polymerization. You still have Neos in your hand. So you can make those plays there. But other than that, you still have, you know, Fusion Destiny to go into. So at most, you're going to end with the and the DPE. Now I'm going to do another 6 because, you know, we're blind second. So this is the blind second build. I personally like the going first or going second build more, but wanting to play with the blind second and see how that goes is just how I feel about heroes. Like to see how Blind Second will go in this format. So we got the Droll, we got a Hero Lives, we got Mally, we got Dead End Prison, and a Dusted Gold for our first 5. So that's going to do a lot of damage. You know, it's going to hurt. It's going to keep your opponent confined. So most likely you're going to end up dropping that. And then our 6th card is another Dusted Gold. So going second, our main bait, obviously a Hero Lives, but you can also throw the Dusted Gold. So, and in this hand, honestly, I would throw the Dusted Gold for the bait and see what happens. But either way, we're just going to play it. And I like Dark Contact a lot. But in this, we might have to just go straight for the Dark Fusion. Or, no, it'd be Dark Contact. It's not in here right now. Going second heroes. Straight into the Dark Contact. No need for the Evil Assault because we have Prison in hand. So that's the first bait. Second bait is unfortunately going to pay a lot of life points. And like I said, we go into Stratos. Stratos is going to search. This is our hand, so we're going to have to search Ferris. Search Ferris, add to hand. Activate the effect of Ferris to reveal. Discarding Mally Boy. Perfect, right? Ferris effect. Increase to grave. Or increase to spell and trap card zone. Increase effect. Then we'll get Vion through increase effect. Vion will send a hero from deck to graveyard. The one I like to choose is Shadow Mist. But depending on how you're setting up, right? If you want to send Liquid Soldier or Shadow Mist, it's completely up to you. But you can send the Shadow Mist so that we fuel the graveyard. And then you get Shadow Mist effect to add Liquid Soldier to your hand. Right? So then add that to our hand. So now this is what we have in our hand. We're straight. And then you can link off Cross Crusader plays. Cross Crusader. Grab Mally. Mally, you're going to pop through Cross Crusader, search. This is where you're going to get Denier. Grab Denier. Separate some stuff that's like clumping. Yeah, don't forget that. If something's clumping, move it. Okay, that's in our hand. Now, we can use Mally to banish himself, to special summon a Mally from the deck. Yep. Then, link those two for another link 2 into Devicer. Devicer reveal. Grab Neos. Neos to hand. Oh. And then because of ion, we have our polymerization. So this is my favorite thing to do, is you use these two right here. You can go into Infernal Rage, but we're not there yet. We still got one more thing we gotta do. Banish the other Mally. Well, you don't gotta banish the other Mally yet. We still have plenty we can do because of our hand. Our hand is pretty nice. It's really nice. So you can link these two for another link to being Wonder Driver, my favorite. Now we're into Wonder Driver. He's insane. I love him. So then we can polymerization our Liquid Soldier and our Neos. So then we'll have a draw 2, discard 1. But we're going to go into Infernal Rage. Because we use Neos, we're going to have an additional effect. Top of that being summoned in this arrow, that means we get our polymerization back. And polymerization is not once per turn. So then, get that back in our set. And then we search for favorite contact. There we go. Then, because we use Neos, we can tribute off Infernal Rage, ignoring summoning conditions, a level 7 or lower elemental hero monster. And you can go into Sunrise. Sunrise will get us Miracle Fusion. And yep, I know we didn't do the draw 2, discard 1 from Absolute Zero because now we can use it with Miracle Fusion. So then we can Miracle Fusion and we can use Absolute Zero and any other hero, any other one. And we can go into, just do the Vion, so that way we just have stuff there. Then we can go into the Absolute Zero. And notice we still have Mally and Denier engraved. So we go into Absolute Zero. Now we can do the draw 2, discard 1. Here's our draw 2. And this is what we have to discard from. So we're still good. Absolutely. We can discard this, put it to grave, because we still have Mally we haven't used. So we have that. We still have a face down polymerization. So we're gonna do the Mally. And we still haven't normal. We have not normal summoned yet. Banish the Mally. Special the Mally from deck. Bing, bada, boom. And then, because a hero was special, or Destiny hero was special summoned, you get to do this. Bring him back, special summon. Put the Mally from the banish on top of your deck through Denier's effect. Then, polymerization into Phoenix Destroyer. Now, it's important that Phoenix Destroyer keeps coming back in this, so that we can keep recycling your fusion spell cards. It's important. And now we can normal summon Dead End Prison That Imprison's effect is going to send another hero from deck to grave. Let's see what we have left and what we're thinking about. We'll just send... we'll probably send another Ferris. Yeah, we'll send Ferris. Keep the Stratos in there. Yep, and that was from doing the reveal. Boom. Now, we have Dark Contact we can play. And we have Favorite Contact, and we have Forbidden Droplets, and 2 Adusted Gold. So, we got a lot of stuff we can do. During our opponent's turn, we could use a Forbidden Droplets to do that, you know, but we're going second heroes. We got a lot of damage up here, and we can still go Bane. So, we're good. So, if we go Bane, you can Dark Contact, and you can send Mally back, you can send a Fusion back, you can send Neos back, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. So, we will send a Dusted Gold back, and we will send Ferris back, because we just sent him there. So that way, send that back, and now we have insane board. Oh, insane. So we have our opponent's monsters getting 1, 2, 3, 600 life points down, and we gain 600. So 3,600 Bane, and you know my opponent's going down a ton of attack points. So Bane's gonna hit hard. Bane's effect happens, blows out their board. Chain to anything, you got Droplet, and you got plenty of discard, and then you could either way just blow board by using that also in that, and you also have this on field still for Droplet. So then you're just gonna just Bane that, blow that up, and then literally push for game times 3. So yeah, it's pretty insane, and that was just the hero lives, and that was a going second. And if even if stuff happened, you were still going to get to Bane and DPE, even if you got negated in any type of way. Drone Lockbird, that's obviously a whole different like monster right there for us. We do a lot of adding from hand, but we can also play under it. We just also have subpar boards. Yeah, that's just something that is still in the game. Drone Lockbird's still a thing. Ain't really any way to go about that. Other than, you know, having the Called by the Grave in hand, or the Cross out in hand, you know, that kind of stuff. And, you know, if you play Darklaw, remember Darklaw prevents you from being Droplet, Drolled, stuff like that. So Darklaw is pretty important that way in today's meta. So don't forget about that. Now, the things that I feel like, you know, going second, you know, you're going blind second, you want to make it to where it's as easy as possible going second. And these are the cards that I feel make it easier going second, of course. Must have passed through. I was looking for something else. Okay. So going second, I feel like this does well for us. For opponent activating effects during our main phase. Goes really well for us. Droplets, insanely well for us. Being able to abuse Absolute Zero with droplets is really good. Raigeki is just really nice. You know, pretty much your opponent's just going to negate that. It's a forceful negate off one of their effects. And then when your opponent activates a monster effect, you just pretty much mind control them. Just take it. So that's going second. Blind second heroes. Does a lot. Plays through a lot. Yeah, I hope you guys watch the whole thing and learn from the combos. And if you already knew the combo lines that I showed, you know, good thing you know them. If you didn't know them, let me know if you have any questions on anything that had to do with the combos. And I hope you all have a nice day. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the like. Thank you very much. It keeps it inspirational. Now, the new hero cards are really good. They are really good. Dustcrow is really cool for the normal or special summon. Arrow to your hand. And Furnace is really cool, just being a reveal to add either a mass change or a polymerization. I don't think it's a broken one-card combo. I'm just glad to have one-card combo now. It's finally a thing that we finally have a true one-card combo. That is the biggest help to us as hero players by far. There's nothing better than us having a true one-card combo. I'm very happy about that, without a doubt. But the thing is, we still got to watch out for Droll. We still got to watch out for Nib, since we're not going to have an Omni Negate that just activates. But at least we'll have an Omni Negate that's a target on-field negate to be able to get into. That's been like, what, 15 plus years that we waited to be able to actually use efficiently. So it's cool to be able to use that now. And I'm just happy about it. I don't think it's broken, but the tubers that don't actually play heroes, it's kind of irritating because they're trying to hype it so hard for views, and make it like this like overpowered one card combo, and it's not. It's almost like having Alistair. It's able to be stopped. The combo line is very linear, very predictable. Stuff like that, but at the same sense, like I said, I'm still grateful for it. I just don't like that every other tuber that doesn't even play heroes really wants to hype it super hard to make prices go up a lot more than they should. It's still a really nice one-card combo. I'm very appreciative of it. Hope all y'all have a really nice day. I want everyone to take care of themselves. I want y'all to be happy. Keep your head picked up, chin up, y'all. It's very important. This is Infinite Nebula. We out here. We appreciate everything. Peace.